Yes. What's happening? What's going on? I'm just having a little drink here. You know, a nice little drink. Have you ever had this before? You know, apple sours. I'm just having a bit of this. You know, a nice little alcoholic drink. You know, I normally drink Echo 4s, don't I? But I just fancied a little change today. So I bought this nice little bottle. Apple sours. It's quite nice. You know, Echo 4s, they didn't want to sponsor me, did they? I tried to get them to sponsor these videos, you know, but they weren't having any of it, were they? You know what I mean? You know, all the promotion that I've given them in these videos. You know, they kind of threw me under the bus, didn't they? You know, like the Black Quitter. They kind of threw me under the bus, didn't they? They didn't want to sponsor me, you know, even though I give them a lot of promotion, so... Yeah, fuck them. This is a lot nicer, you know, this apple sours. Have you had this before? It's fucking beautiful. Really nice. Yeah, what's going on in boxing? What's happening? Yeah, what do you think of Eddie Hearn's little Dazn media lineup? Yeah, it's not all that, is it? It's not all that at all, is it? I think it's because Eddie Hearn, like, built it up so much, you know what I mean? You know, with his big announcements. You know, saying, yeah, Coogan, wait till you hear the lineup. You're going to be really impressed. So he kind of built it up, didn't he, Eddie Hearn? You know, his big announcements. He needs to pack it in. You know, his big announcement about Joshua Fury kind of backfired, didn't it? So he needs to fuck it off, you know, stop building things up. Because this team here is not really that good, is it? Andy Lee, you know, he's got that Kronk connection on it. He spent years with Emmanuel Stewart, you know, in the Kronk gym. You know, and he's got his little connection with Tyson Fury as well. You know, and he was a world champion as well. So he's alright, isn't he? Andy Lee. Tony Bellew. Yeah, Cougs. Yeah, I don't want to be on camera anymore, Cougs. You know, I want to be called Anthony Bellew, Cougs. I want to be at home with my wife and kids, Cougs. I don't want to be seen anymore. You know, it fucking didn't last long at all, did it? It didn't last at all, man. He's all over the place, Anthony Bellew. I think what it is, you know, when he got fucked up by Usyk, I think his fans, you know, started to turn on him. You know, people love a winner, don't they? They hate losers. You know, when you lose, you know, when Ricky Hatton headbutted the corner of the ring. You know, when Hatton got fucked up by Mayweather and Pacquiao. He said that people started to lose interest in him and he was just sitting in the pub on his own, you know, crying, drinking a beer. You know, he said people start to like fucking lose interest in him because people don't like losers, do they? I think his fans, you know, started to turn on him. So, you know, when Bellew got fucked up by Usyk, he probably started to notice, you know, his so-called fans and people who got behind him, you know, started to turn on him. You know, the people who was there for him. You know, when he fucked up David Haye, he probably got a lot of fans, a lot of attention, you know, a lot of praise, a lot of credit, a lot of adulation. But then when Usyk fucked him up, people probably lost interest like they did with Hatton. So he probably craves that attention, don't he, Tony Bellew? You know, making faces so people look at him and pay him attention. It's kind of what he's turned into, isn't it? He kind of craves the attention now. He's on fucking camera every minute. He can't stay away, can he, at all? So yeah, Tony Bellew, who else? I don't really know who a lot of these fuckers are. Mike Costello, he's supposed to be quite good, isn't he? I don't really know who he is. I think it's the two women who are getting slagged off the most, aren't they? Laura Woods and Maya Jama. They're the ones who are getting slagged off, aren't they? They basically tick a box, don't they? We fucking know this, don't we? They basically tick a box, you know, the pussy box. You know, Shannon Contney, she got interviewed one time and she said that she overheard Eddie Hearn, you know, talking to somebody at Sky Sports. You know, and the person at Sky Sports said to Eddie Hearn, you've got to have one woman's fight on every single one of your shows. So it says it all, don't it? Do you know what I mean? But you know, Shannon Contney, she shouldn't really have said that, you know, because she kind of exposed herself, didn't she? So it kind of makes it look like Eddie Hearn just signed her up, you know, to tick a box, you know, the pussy box. Because she's not that good, is she? You know what I mean? She was ranked number 8 in the world rankings. She beat number 9, and she's trying to pretend she's a world champ. So she just ticked a box, you know, so Eddie Hearn got behind her and fucking signed her up. You know, she won that little silly belt. How did she like win a world title? Is she now above all the other women who were above her in the rankings? Does she climb above number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Just because she beat number 9? You know, that makes sense, does it? So Eddie Hearn just got her signed up because she ticks her box, you know, the pussy box. You know, but she was in a car crash, wasn't she, the other day? So she was probably driving around Watford, you know, with her window down, shouting, "Yeah, I'm a world champ, I've made history. The first world champion woman from Watford." So she probably crashed, you know, acting like that. So she's fake. She just ticks her box. So it's the same with these two women. You know, they ain't got a clue about boxing, have they? But neither did Blowjob Signals. You remember her? You remember Blowjob Signals? She didn't have a clue about boxing either, did she? She just ticked the pussy box as well. Like, she didn't have a clue. You know, if you asked Blowjob Signals, who won out of Lennox Lewis and Holyfield in the rematch, she won't have a clue. She's probably never heard of Holyfield. You know, Lennox Lewis won on points, but she wouldn't know that. She wouldn't fucking know Holyfield. But she ticked the pussy box, didn't she? So she managed to get the gig on Sky Sports. So it's the same with these two women, isn't it? But I don't mind, you know, these two women, they look quite nice, don't they? They look quite nice, so I don't know why, like, men are complaining about it. Like, so what if they don't know about boxing? I think someone said, you know, Ant and Dec, they, like, presented a music show, you know, Pop Idol, but they can't sing. They haven't fucking made any great music, have they? Ant and Dec. You know, but that don't mean they can't present a music show, Pop Idol. So yeah, these two women here, I don't think they really need to know about boxing, to be honest with you. They just look nice, don't they? So sex sells, don't it? I don't know why these men are complaining, you know, it's a bit fruity, innit? It's a bit fruity, you know, fucking men complaining about these two nice looking women. You know, working for Dazn, you know what I mean? I don't know why men are complaining, it's a bit fruity, innit? It's a bit fruity. You know, it's ticking a box, innit? It's fucking ticking boxes. It's all equality now, innit? Equal rights. Yeah, equality. Gay pride. Yeah, Gay Pride Month. Ramanathan Month. That's what it's about now, innit? Ticking a box. Gay pride. Equality. Equal rights. Ramanathan. So these two women here, they just tick a box as well, don't they? But they look nice though, so I don't know why men are complaining. Like some women presenters, you know, they look a bit fucked up, don't they? I don't want to sound horrible, I just like honesty, you know what I mean? Like, who would you rather see every Saturday night working at boxing shows presenting? That woman there, that big black mama, or those two nice women there? It's fucking common sense, isn't it? It's just common sense. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for these two women, but I think if they wanted to get a woman, they probably should have got someone like, you know, Michelle Hall Phelps. Like, she's got her own thing going on, hasn't she? She's got her own channel, but sometimes she like steps away from that, you know, and does like other work. You know, in her and that fucking bent legs. You know, they presented a boxing show, didn't they? What was it? Ultimate Boxer. You know, her and Coogan, they presented like a boxing show, didn't they? You know, Ultimate Fighter or something like that, Ultimate Boxer. So I think if Dazn wanted to like take a woman on, you know, who's got more boxing knowledge than that Laura Woods and Maya Jama, you know, they probably should have hired Michelle Hall Phelps. You know, or that Fino boxing, she looks quite nice as well, don't she? She's got a bit of boxing knowledge, so Yeah, if anything, they should have tried to like hire those two. I think I'd like to have seen Johnny Nelson in there as well. You know, people say, oh, he's fucking coming out with all these little daft sayings. People say, oh, he talks a lot of shit, man. Tony Bellew is technically better than Usyk, and Kell Brook will stop Golovkin in 4 rounds and all that. But that's kind of entertaining, isn't it, saying those kind of things? It's a bit entertaining. It adds like a humour element to it, don't it? It adds a bit of humour. So I think Johnny Nelson, I'd like to have seen him in there as well. But yeah, it's a shit lineup, innit? It's not all that good. Eddie Hearn hyped it up too much. We expected more, didn't we? I was expecting someone like Snoop Dogg. You know him, you know how he's kind of involved in boxing, you know, with Triller. You know, he's getting involved in boxing in his Snoop Dogg. So I was expecting someone like him, you know, the way Eddie Hearn was acting. You know, I was expecting like a Snoop Dogg, you know, a big iconic name. So yeah, Eddie Hearn, he kind of hyped it up a bit too much, didn't it? Who would I have liked to have seen? Who else should be on the team? I think Carl Froch is quite a good pundit. I think he's quite straightforward, isn't he? Direct. He's not a little yes man, is he, Carl Froch? You remember when he said Joshua's not one of the British boxing greats of all time? You know, Joshua, he got a bit upset and he started sending Carl Froch, you know, a load of WhatsApp messages, you know, threatening him. But then Joshua kind of pussied out, you know, and deleted the messages before Carl Froch could see him. You know, he kind of pussied out, didn't he, Joshua? But yeah, you know, Carl Froch saying that about Joshua, he don't care, does he? He's like straight up, direct. So I think he would have been good, you know, to work on that Dazn Punditry team. You know, saying Joshua's not an all-time British great, which he's not, is he? You know, Joshua, he's jealous of Lennox Lewis. You know what I mean? People used to say, oh, Lennox Lewis is jealous of Joshua, but it's not. It's not that. That's not the case. It's the other way around. You know, Lennox was like undisputed champ. You know, Joshua really wants to be undisputed. You know, but he's probably not going to be, is he? You know, because of the politics. Back in Lennox Lewis's day, there was like less politics, you know. There was fucking not as much arbitration bullshit that there is today. But you know, now it's a bit different, isn't it? So I don't think Joshua will even beat Tyson Fury to become undisputed anyway. You know, I think Tyson schools Joshua, you know, even though Tyson's reputation is a bit tarnished, you know, after he was like stood there watching Billy Joe Saunders' dad, Tom Saunders, getting fucked up. You know, and Tyson was just stood there one day kind of like watching, you know, like kind of holding onto the barrier. He wasn't getting involved, was he, you know, in the traditional gypsy, tough man, fighting man way. You know, as we would expect from a fighting man, a so-called tough fighting man, bare knuckle warrior, gypsy fighting man. You know, we didn't really see that on display, did we really? So I think Tyson's reputation has took a bit of a knock, but I still think he'll beat Joshua. So Joshua is jealous of Lennox Lewis's undisputed title, isn't he? His undisputed reign, so he started calling Lennox a clown. You know, trying to diss him. He's jealous, isn't he, Joshua, of Lennox? Joshua Usyk, that's kind of... It's not really been spoken about that much, is it? It's not really getting that much hype. I don't know. Might be because it's not officially announced yet, but what do you think of that fight there? You know, whoever loses this, yeah, they may as well just pack it in. Usyk struggled with Cesaro, yeah, so he's not really making a big impact, is he, on the heavyweight division? And, you know, if Joshua gets fucking schooled, he's got to pack it in as well. He's not going to be like Lennox Lewis, is he? Undisputed champ. He's jealous and bitter and angry and hostile, you know, towards Lennox Lewis. He's in the history books, isn't he, Lennox, you know, as being undisputed. So Joshua is a bit jealous, isn't he? He's a bit bitter. So he tried to take it out on me, didn't he? You know, trying to come up to me and try to fucking run me out of his gym. You know, I just stood there like, fucking, what are you gonna do about it? You know, and he started to like retreat, he started to like back off, you know, and he realised that I wasn't fucking messing around. He started to like fucking retreat. So Joshua, he's getting slagged off, you know, because he was like trying to promote the vaccine. So a load of black people, you know, saying, oh, he's a clown, you know, he's a puppet for the elite, you know, we're trying to push this vaccine. Propaganda, you know, people are slagging off Joshua, you know, calling him a little puppet. You know, Wiley, he did a little video dissing Joshua, didn't he? You know, saying he's a little puppet, he's a little fucking yes man, he's a little fake smiling clown, you know, promoting bullshit just for the bag, just for that money. You know, he's like a puppet on a string, you know, being controlled by the elites, you know, being told to promote the vaccine. So a lot of people are having a go at him, aren't they? Joshua don't give a fuck, does he? He wants the bag, man. He wants the bag. You know, like Mayweather. He wants that Mayweather money, don't he, Joshua? So he's willing to promote any old bullshit, innit? He don't give a fuck, does he, Joshua? It's all about the bag, innit? Like Mayweather. Fucking Leonard Ellaby. You know, looking at Mayweather and smiling every minute. It's a bit creepy, innit? You know, I prefer Al Heyman, you know, behind the scenes, quietly doing his thing. But you know, this fucking Leonard Ellaby looking at Mayweather and smiling every minute, it's a bit creepy, innit? You know, laughing at every single thing he says, it's a bit weird, innit? Just smiling at him like that every minute. You remember Beavis and Butthead? I used to watch that cartoon, you know, when I was a kid, and like Beavis, he was always like looking at Butthead, you know, and smiling. That's like Leonard Ellaby, innit? He's like the Black Beavis, innit? The Black Beavis. That's not racist, is it? It's not racist at all, man. Some people are trying to call me racist, you know, on Twitter, you know, because I've got the Black Critter and the Black Lesbian and the Black Skeleton.
First time in history, all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division will belong proudly around the waist of one man.
So people are trying to call me racist, aren't they, on Twitter? But you remember when Dillian White called Beyonce Wilder the Black Hillbilly? That's not racist, is it? Dillian White's black himself, so it's... People that say anything's racist these days, don't they? Can't say anything anymore, can you? It's all fucking political correctness, you know, equal rights, yeah, ticking boxes. Let's get a couple of women on the fucking boxing who haven't got a clue about boxing because they look quite nice and they're women. But I'm not really a big time hardcore boxing fan, you know, a big time boxing historian with lots of boxing knowledge. My boxing interest started to go downhill, you know, when Naz got beat by Barrera. That was like 20 years ago. You know, I turned into a bit of a casual, you know, after that. But I still do like boxing videos, you know, talking a load of shit about boxing. So I don't really think you need to be a big time boxing fan, you know, to be involved in boxing. I think Naz would make a good pundit as well. He was quite entertaining, wasn't he, you know, in his little appearances. You know, and he looked at the camera and he said, oh, which camera is it? Which camera shall I look into to tell Chris Eubank Jr. to pack it in? You're not going anywhere. You know, which camera shall I look into to tell Eubank to retire? You know, you have to brock them up and you haven't got it. You haven't got the power. That was a good appearance, wasn't it, from Naz? A nice little cameo, a nice little appearance. So I think he'd be quite good as a pundit. But he's too rich and he's too lazy. Someone told me that Nassim Hamed, he wakes up at 1 p.m. You know what I mean? He's got that money, so he just sleeps, you know, and eats and just runs into cafes every minute. You know, eating and just he's just comfortable, innit? He's just got the bag. But yeah, I'd love to see him as a pundit. I've always liked Naz, he's always entertaining, innit? You know, when he crashed into that guy and just started running off, you know, leaving the guy paralysed. It's quite interesting, that, isn't it? And he got put in a prison, you know, in a open prison in Doncaster. So yeah, Andy Lee is not on the same entertainment level as a Naz is. So I think someone who's a bit more exciting than Andy Lee could have replaced him. But Naz is too rich in it. I don't think he'd show the dedication or the determination. But yeah, that'll do, you know. I'm going to wrap this up, I think. Wrap it up. Yeah, I'm seeing a psychic tomorrow. You know, I'm seeing a psychic. You know, there's a YouTube channel. Can you remember that Primark Michelle Joy Phelps? She used to interview boxers, you know, for a YouTube boxing channel. I don't think she does it anymore. You know, I ain't really seen her on the scene, you know, for a while. But she used to interview boxers, you know, for a boxing YouTube channel. So that channel, you know, they've asked me, you know, to go and see a psychic. And they're going to record it, you know, and just like make a little video out of it and that. So yeah, I'm going to go and see a psychic tomorrow. It's somewhat different, isn't it? You know what I mean? I get a bit bored of talking about Joshua Fury and arbitrations and all that shit. It's boring, isn't it? It's fucking repetitive, isn't it? You know, the Skype wanker, he's back on the scene talking about Kell Brook, in it. So it's just boring. It's old news. So it's got to try something a bit different, you know, like this apple sours. It's really fucking nice. So yeah, I'm gonna probably buy another bottle tomorrow, you know, and go and see a psychic, you know, a little witch doctor, you know, a little spiritual advisor, and see what she's got to say. Well, yeah, that will do, you know. Thanks for tuning in, yeah? Yeah, thanks for that.